SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
We better be good. Everyone's really quiet.
Yeah, what if we weren't good?
Are we recording?
We are recording.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey.
welcome to Boston Pizza Rutherford Road! Thank you for being here. And as loud as you were, is as loud as I want you to stay. I could have said that in a lot
That's
easier.
how as bad.
If you've never been to a live podcast recording before, here's how it works. If you've been to a concert, kind of like that, except here, if you like something, you cheer for it, all right? So I'm going to say Austin Matthews. Woo! Great. Then I'm going to say the Ottawa Senators. Hey,
They get it.
They got it.
They get it.
You
They get
understand. All right, so I just want to say, first off, thank you so much for being here. We're thrilled. I do want to say right off the top, a big thank you to Boston Pizza Rutherford Road and, of course, all the serving staff here tonight who are doing such a great job.
Yep.
We really appreciate it.
Tip your servers well.
Yeah, that's right. Tip them well.
Tip them well.
Tip them well. I'm going to be here real late doing this Edmonton-Dallas game. I'm hoping it doesn't go to triple overtime.
I'm
Never
hoping
know.
it does.
Yeah, because if it does, they're going to lock the door and I'll be out on the patio somewhere. But it's going to be a really fun time. So one of the things that I'm going to need your help with for that is this is our very, very first live stream. They call them sidecasts or megacasts or whatever. I don't know what happened with my mic there. Oh, Drew's messing with the sound.
Drew's touching
Hey,
stuff.
here we go. Producer Drew.
Boo.
There we go.
Yes.
So I'm gonna from time to time I'm gonna be like flagging you guys down. I'm gonna flip my laptop around or whatever I'm shooting it on, and I need you guys to be like cheering on and bringing the ambiance to the live stream as well, because we've never done a live stream in a live location with a live audience reacting. So I think this is gonna be a really fun one tonight, guys. That's right. That's right with Gripper Nation, and don't forget.
Boston Pizza has asked us, please keep your shoes on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, as the other thing I want to say is Steve Silverstone and Taylor Campbell. Steve Silverstone is the franchisee here. Steve has graciously welcomed us into his establishment. So I just want to do a big shout out to
Round
Steve.
of applause.
Woo! Let's go, Steve!
That's right.
Steve.
Better Steve, as we know him.
Better
Steve.
Better Steve. Better Steve. Better Steve. Better Steve.
And of course, and I'm going to shout her out to Taylor Campbell's here from Boston Pizza Head Office. So on your way out, be sure to tell her how much you love the show and how much you want this to continue, okay?
Yeah.
Do us a solid on that one. And you know, we're going to talk a little bit about tonight's game. We're going to talk about the 20-minute conversation Steve and I had about Mitch Marner and trade proposals in the car. Real story. But the first thing I want to do is make you aware of somebody who's really inspiring. And this is really special that we get to do this because proceeds from tonight are going to the Angus Anderson Foundation. And this is a really spectacular foundation, but somebody who's extraordinarily inspiring, and he's here tonight. Angus, could you please come up to the stage?
Round of applause.
Angus, I'm going to have you stand right here, pal. So let's quickly tell everybody, you went through a pretty life-changing situation. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I got cancer pretty bad. In fact, I had 47 tumors. I had my bladder removed, my prostate.
I'm going to move you over here.
Just so we can get you on camera.
You get on camera.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Thank
so I
you.
had 47 tumors. I only had a 10% chance to live when I closed my eyes. So at the age of 43, I had to make my will, say goodbye to my children, and had to close my eyes. They removed the bladder, the prostate. They removed 19 of 21 of my lymph nodes. They also took my bowel. They cut it in half. They made a new bladder for me to use. But due to the fact that I only had a 10% chance to live, I looked up to God and I decided to do it with no painkillers whatsoever. So this was only a year ago, or almost 2 years ago. After the 5 cycles of chemotherapy, I ran the Tough Mudder, Toronto.
Tell them how many
15K.
months later, by the way. How many months
It
later?
was 9 months after
9
my
months
chemo.
later, guys.
Wow.
Thank you. I walked out of my last chemo at 104 pounds, so it wasn't easy to get back into where I was. When I ran the Tough Mudder, I was happily at 155. So it was a recovery to remember. And I'm gonna be honest, taking no painkillers, it was the toughest I can remember. I don't know, it was the toughest thing ever, but it was the most beneficial for me. Maybe not for anybody else, but it was most beneficial for me, and that's why I'm standing here today talking to you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for coming here today.
Thank
See
you.
these guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Angus. And Angus, your story is so inspiring. We really do appreciate it. So proceeds from tonight are going to the Angus Anderson Foundation. Last year, they raised about $10K. They're well on their way to blow that out of the water, and tonight you're contributing to that, guys. This goes to people going through what he went through for mental health and for physical health as well, because if anybody that's been touched by cancer, which I think is most of us, there's a lot of costs and a lot of grieving that goes along with it. And it's a lot to get through. It's a lot on your family members, and Angus wants to help those people out. So Angus, thank you very much.
Let's go, Angus.
Thank you.
Woo! Angus Anderson Foundation on Instagram and Twitter, I believe, right? Instagram?
No, Instagram, and we'll have a website up at the end of the
Great. Thank you, man.
Excellent.
Okay. So anyway,
Thanks
big
for your
shout out to
story,
Angus.
man.
Yeah, it's a great one.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we'll do pictures after. We'll do pictures after. All right. So Angus was kind enough to big round of applause for Angus again. It's amazing. Amazing. You know, when you wake up and you go, "Hey, life's hard." No. It's just not.
People were mean about that YouTube video I made.
By the way, I think it was funny because we walked in tonight and the manager here pointed out that he knew you from a clip on Instagram. Can you tell which one it was?
Oh, the Domi Bertuzzi one from last week.
When you were being a grump about how much money they were going to
I don't recall being a grump. I thought it was very fair. And I saw the big picture of everything. No, I might have been a little too harsh. I also don't want to pay him $6 million. What of it?
It's a little much.
Yeah.
A little much.
Yeah.
A little
Wait,
much.
the rants or the money?
The money.
That's important. Okay, good. So I'm still right. Great.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, you know, what we should be talking about tonight is the game we're about to watch. It's Dallas. It's Edmonton. It's can Edmonton stay in this series? Can they contain that Seguin, Hintz, Robertson line, which was so dominant? But what did Steve and I talk about on the way here?
The Leafs.
That's right. That's right. A lot of woos. A lot of woos. No
A lot of
boos.
woos and several.
And the reason I called Steve is that I am fairly sure there's a player that is angling to come here. Whether or not they come here or not, I don't know. And I'm not going to say the name. I'm not spilling, but I'm getting the sense. And I said, how would they fit in? And then we got on to the track of, and this is where we get questioned so much, and I know that there will be questions in the audience tonight about it. The Mitch Marner situation, do we know anything more than what anybody else has said? Has anybody said anything that makes you go, I'm thinking this way, or I'm thinking not? Just before, I'm preempting the press conference questions that are coming later.
So let me tell you what it's like being friends with Chris Johnston. Is he doesn't give away government secrets, and it's very frustrating because I wish he would. Because, we run a company together. He does a show on our network and everything. I understand protecting whatever. The fan in me is still like, okay, but what's happening though? And I was just like, he knows where he's going. He friggin' knows where he's going. But it's one thing we learned about CJ recently is he needs several more sources to confirm information than I do. Which is why his information is correct. I heard Marner's going to play 3-on-3 next year. Saudi Steve in the building. Woo. Friggin' idiot. But yeah, we talked about potential trades the entire way here. And one of the things I asked is if Marner were to be traded, would he be the best player at the time to be traded by the Leafs? Because you brought up Doug Gilmour.
That's what instantly came to my mind. But Doug was well into his 30s when the Leafs traded him.
He was back 9.
Yeah.
And where'd he go? New Jersey?
New Jersey for a couple
Where do you
years.
count Phil Kessel?
That's not a bad answer.
Not a bad answer at all.
I would say he was at the peak of his value when he got traded.
He
Never
was.
made $11 million. Or had his junior
Well, the
number.
salary
in
cap
his,
was a little different.
Yeah. it
never had
was.
his junior number in his thing. I
Oh,
don't care how
stop
many
it.
cups he's got. He didn't have his junior number in his contract.
Well, okay, but one of the things, Jesse, that a lot of people have been saying is if this guy gets moved, they instantly will regret it the next year. What happened to Phil Kessel the year he got moved?
He won the Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, but then what happened after that?
He won the Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins again.
Oh,
In the first season, he probably should have won the Conn Smythe
That's
Trophy.
right.
yes.
Yeah.
That was the Sidney Crosby Revenant Conn Smythe
Yeah.
Trophy, which Phil for sure deserved, I think. And this is the thing. You have to be prepared for if you're a Leaf fan and you want change, and you should. Because what I'd really like to do is be here next year with the Leafs in the Eastern Conference Finals doing that game with you guys all at this Boston Pizza. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want.
Yeah, and we fly the green men here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got to watch one of our games. That's what I want. You got the budget for that? Come on, Boston Pizza. Fly them in.
So what, when you talk about this and you get into specific players or whatever, one of the things that you have to be prepared for is immediately the trade is going to be a loss. You're losing a great player. We got to remember what this guy is. Yeah, he makes this, and yeah,
Sick.
he doesn't that. This guy's an incredible hockey player, and whatever's coming back is not going to be that. So, A, are you prepared for that? Are you guys prepared for that? Okay.
Adam, why are you so down on this trade that hasn't happened? Why couldn't this be the DeMar Kawhi trade? Why can't the Leafs trade Mitch Marner and suddenly be infinitely better with the guy they get back?
The issue with it, Jesse, is I don't believe that there is a second best of his generation player available.
You're thinking too small.
I'm
He's
thinking
out
too small.
there. He's out there. Who knows?
Connor.
Is it Connor or is it
I
Leon?
believe in Brad Treliving. I think, watching what he did, everybody thought the Huberdeau trade was genius. What
Yes,
they got
they
back
did.
for Kachuk from
Yes, they
Florida.
did.
Everybody thought, wow.
And don't
you're
forget
able to do
we-
that for a guy who didn't want to be in Calgary. And I feel like maybe he can work his magic again. I'm being very hopeful about this.
We may or may not have brought that up in the same conversation.
Okay, well, I wasn't there for the conversation.
You
so
should have
I
been.
don't know.
No, because at the time, it's like, all right, you got a 115-point left winger and Mackenzie friggin' Weegar, who's extremely good. I don't think anyone thought, oh, he's going to drop off 65 points.
Right.
Or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Math, numbers, tip.
Which
I don't
could
know how it
have
works.
there's many factors that led to that, including the owner interfering and hiring a coach that he shouldn't have hired and all that stuff. So you think, and I think if you go back and you look at, and this is not just because Jim Treliving might own the Boston Pizza IP or anything.
What?
But if you
Is
go
that
back
new
and you look-
information?
if you go back and you look at the moves that he made last summer, Jesse, kind of supports your claim because they all sort of worked out, except for Klingberg.
Except for Clint. You mean the moves he made in Toronto
Yeah.
last summer? Yeah, I think everybody's pretty happy with what Bertuzzi did when he got going eventually during the season. Everybody loved Max
yay
Domi.
Bertuzzi? Are we yay
Bertuzzi? Yeah.
Okay. Are we yay Domi?
Domi? Yeah.
That was louder.
Klingberg, nobody thought he'd get injured.
What about
and-
Reeves?
Reeves?
Are we Reeves?
Yeah, all right. He is what he is.
Are we Simon Benoit?
Right?
Yeah, all right.
That was the loudest one.
Yeah.
We're such a weird fan base, dude.
Oh, yeah.
We are the weirdest, most damaged.
Guy who was supposed to be bad but wasn't. Woo! That could be me.
Yeah. Eat it, Dom.
You were saying, Jesse.
Yeah, sorry.
I think if you look at the players who've gone through Calgary and then not wanted to stay there, that's not Treliving's fault. The fact that they didn't like their head coach, that they had the worst head coach ever, and that they didn't like the market and that he couldn't make them stick around, it doesn't mean he didn't compile a good collection of players, which I think he can do in Toronto in a market where people actually want to play.
Right. Wow. Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. Throwing
Wow.
barbs at Calgary.
I don't
Wow.
know. Ask Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau what they think.
No, I think Brad Treliving liked it
And Adam
better
Fox.
when he was playing, when he was the GM in the real NHL.
Oh, okay. Now,
See,
Steve,
not everyone knows about that yet.
you guys, if you haven't heard the new Steve Dangle podcast, which just dropped an hour and a half ago, there was a quote by Kevin McGran in the Toronto Star about Sheldon Keefe joining the New Jersey Devils. And what did Sheldon say? Sheldon said the quiet part out loud. I want to hear your reaction to this. What did he say?
I hate Toronto
No,
so
he didn't
much.
say that.
No, sorry. He said.
I can
he
pull it up
said.
here if you
yeah,
want,
yeah. You might
because-
as well pull up the quote.
Do you want me to read it? You
Yes,
want me to read it?
verbatim.
Okay, verbatim it says, it was a tremendous honor to coach the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Good start. Good start.
There's a lot that goes into that. I've had a number of well-established coaches in the league reach out and say that I should be happy that now I get to coach in the real NHL. Toronto is quite unique. It's not like the rest of the league.
There's people here.
It's better. There you go.
What he was trying to say is that people here care a lot about hockey. and it's difficult to coach here. But it didn't come across like that at all.
I want to know how Devils fans are reacting to that, because like, what's the subtext there? Hey, people here don't like care.
You guys aren't real
Like,
fans.
Yeah, they won the cup. Yeah, but like the parade was in a parking lot. Like they don't really.
They lost the Nets. They don't even have a basketball team anymore.
They don't even have a basketball team.
Don't have baseball. What are they?
Yeah,
It's a suburb.
What is the connotation there? Like I said the same thing in the offseason with Radko Gudas when that quote came out. And we know he's a big game guy. That dude just had a beer on stage after winning a gold medal. He's living large. He's a great hockey player, great career.
And the Leafs did offer him a contract last summer.
Yeah, but no, Canada yucky. I'd rather play for the Ducks. Like, no offense, but okay, why would you want to play in Anaheim? Okay, yes, I would like to be a multi-millionaire, live next to Disneyland, and
sunny all the time, never
sunny
shovel.
all the time,
No snow.
no
Yeah.
snow. And did I mention the part where I'm a multi-millionaire?
Right.
Like, because I feel like that should be 2 spots on the hand. But when he said that, I was just like, okay. The implication though is no one in Anaheim cares, which is a disservice to Anaheim fans. And I thought that quote was a disservice to Devils fans. And also, I'm really taming it down because we're in public. I was not this kind earlier on the pod. But basically, listen, we're nuts. All right? We're nuts.
You're in a bar talking hockey in May.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, good point.
You're crazy.
That's silly behavior. Yeah. That's not normal.
Team was out a month ago. What are you doing here?
Stop that. Stop that. Yeah, well,
we're not-
and we
definitely
can't
not gonna talk about the Blue Jays.
All right. Are you trying to
no.
start a riot?
Yeah,
Who said
yeah.
that? All right.
Let's avoid that topic.
Ross Atkins walks in here. Okay. No, but listen, I know we can be obnoxious. I know we're very passionate, and I know we spend a lot of money. And wait, sorry, we are the ideal hockey fan, actually. You should be obnoxious. You should be passionate, and it's an added bonus if you spend a little bit of money on your hockey team. So it would be Gary Bettman's dream, I think, to have 32 markets like Toronto. So when I heard that real NHL thing, I was just like, damn, that is not the flex you think it is at all. Because the real NHL is what? Where people don't care. Seemed to be the implication. And there's 32 head coaching jobs in the NHL. It's such a prestigious position, and it just felt like they pissed all over it.
Okay.
Can I say
The guys
piss
who
in a restaurant?
texted Keefe. You mean the guys who texted Keefe?
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
clarify that as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were like, yeah, Keefe's a loser. I'm like, okay, I didn't say that, actually.
No.
Because Keefe is quoting people who reached out to him.
Yeah, that was very specific in the article.
But
That
it obviously rung true enough in his mind to say it.
to repeat it to Kevin McGran and then for him to write in the Toronto Star and have the thumbs up for it to go out.
It rung a bell in
Yeah.
Keefe's head.
Yeah, but here's what I always like. It's okay if you like hockey and that's all you like. I'm branching out more and more every year into other sports. And maybe it's happened, but I can't remember an NBA coach ever being like, well, glad I don't coach the Lakers anymore. Now I can be in the real NBA. Like,
Indianapolis.
yeah, glad
Actually, still at hardcore
I don't
fan
coach
base.
the Celtics or the Knicks or get out of here. Like, no, you want to be in the real NBA. You want to be in the real NFL. Like, oh, thank God I don't have to coach the Red Sox or Yankees anymore. You know? I'm glad to be here in Milwaukee.
Right.
No, they're fine and everything. But no. It's great to be here. I remember when I was with the Yankees. Thank goodness I'm now with the Marlins.
Right.
It's because Yankees are ideal.
Yes.
There's a ton of them, and they spend a big old bunch of money. What's wrong with that?
And what is it? It's hard to be manager of the Yankees because you have the biggest fan base questioning every move all the time. And by the way, that is your right as fans.
That's what the money is for.
Yeah. That's right. Now, so now that we got the two biggest things off of the docket to start, let's talk about the game tonight. How many of you guys have watched this series close? Close? Medium close. Okay.
Medium?
All right. So here's the question. What matters more? Is it high-end skill or is it even skill throughout the lineup?
What if you're Dallas and you have both?
Damn. He's right.
It's kind of unfair, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the deeper you go into the playoffs, depth becomes a bigger and bigger issue. A lot of the times, I feel like people go, those fourth liners really step it up, and those third liners really step it up. And there might be some truth to that. I think what is probably also a factor is the month and a half where the star players get their asses kicked during the first 3 rounds. And so, I guess your whole lineup evens out because, the guys deeper just have fresher legs. But you do need it. Like, the Vegas Golden Knights had crazy depth last year. I think back to, Brett Connolly and Devontae Smith-Pelly with the 2018 Capitals were so sick.
Ryan Reeves scored a Stanley Cup goal for the Vegas Golden Knights the first time around.
That man scored a Stanley Cup playoff goal. Stanley Cup final goal, I should say. Matt Rempe has a Stanley Cup playoff goal. Not in the finals yet.
Matt Rempe got cheers.
Yeah. Matt Rempe got cheers in Vaughan, Ontario. Yeah. What do we think of the Rempire State Building?
All right.
Rempe Mania. That's
I've never seen a
unbelievable.
New York Ranger get cheered like that in this town.
Right.
This is wild.
Here, wait. Let's see if it... Here. What about Barclay Goodrow?
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay,
all
well,
right.
she's super stoked. And she was about 1 of 3. Rempire State Building once more? Okay, so it wasn't... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
I get
Adam,
it.
to your point, I think you obviously look at the Edmonton Oilers and you say they have Draisaitl and McDavid. That's the highest of highest end skill you can get. But when you're going against Dallas, where they also have high-end skill, not that high, but they can beat you in waves, where just even on the back end, they have stars. Even in up and down their forward group,
They have stars.
They have stars.
Hey! Oh, it's their
This
name.
guy.
Oh.
And it's difficult when every single time you go out on the ice, you got to face one of those guys.
Right. Right. And I think that's going to be the hard thing tonight because when it's not Tyler Seguin's line, it's Jamie Benn's line. When it's not that, it's something else. And I'm curious about the stream tonight. By the way, Dallas fans were really mad at me in the last stream.
Good.
But I knew I was doing a good job because so were Oilers fans. And
yes.
and they were mad because I was Rob Lowe with the NFL helmet on. I was like, or hat on. I was like, you know what? The refs are calling it right. And the first one that got me into huge trouble was the cross check that led to Mason Marchment. So there was a cross check, and I believe it was Hyman that took it. And then Mason Marchment fell and stayed on the ice like he was dead. Like, did you call the penalty? Can I get up yet? And then, of course, he was called right away. And one of the questions we were asked in the show today is, have they been calling too many embellishment calls? And I think it's really interesting because what you're seeing, and we've complained about the refs. You've heard us complain about the refs. I'm sure you've been at home at your TV yelling and complaining about the refs, especially. No, not you. No. Wow, the refs did great. It's fantastic.
Let's
He
go,
loves
Les.
fake puck drops.
I think, and I have a theory about this, refs are trying to say, hey, wait a second. This is a respect thing. Don't try to fool me. I'm not, this is my job too.
Yeah.
And we got to play the game properly. And it seems like they're trying to avoid because there are a lot more dives than there used to be in the NHL. The soccer thing where they grab their knee even though they were hit in the arm and they're rolling around for a bit and somebody comes out and dabs water on their forehead and then comes out. And I love soccer, but I get really annoyed watching that. It's not great entertainment.
Oh, it's shocking. It's shocking.
It's bad.
Every weekend I try with the in-laws and I'm like, let's go sports team. And every time
you're that guy.
some guy
Oh,
is
no.
rolling. No, but I try to. Well,
Oh,
I also
no.
have to. No. I have to be.
That's cringe,
No,
Steve.
I know it's cringe. I know it's
That's
cringe.
really
No,
I'm
I'm
so
not-
glad we got to meet better Steve
I'm
tonight.
not trying to get. I know. I'm not trying to get beat up by my brother-in-law who cheers for Chelsea.
Okay.
A few boos.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to get beat up by my father-in-law who cheers for Liverpool. There was exactly one.
One you'll never walk alone.
Yeah, so
Who's
I'm like,
here alone.
Yeah, go general soccer.
Yeah.
But then there's someone who just carried off in a stretcher, and then they're jogging like a minute later, and I'm like, dude, have some pride. Aren't your kids
I
watching
feel
this
like
game? Like,
there's
holy-
more diving in the NHL these days.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like more players are looking at it. Hey, if I just kind of fall down and the stick's kind of near me, I might get my team a power play.
Well,
and
look
that can be really helpful in the playoffs.
When you're the Oilers and you're shooting, your power play was at 35% at the top end. Leaf fans, you don't know what that's like. We don't know what that's like. Maybe 3%. Then we'd be like, yeah, that's great. 35% when you're the Florida Panthers and Sam Reinhart scores on 31% of his power play shots. 31%. That is a huge difference maker.
So yeah, if you're a guy like Sam Bennett, and anytime somebody breathes on you, oh yeah, there we go. Sam Bennett, anytime anybody on the ice breathes on Sam Bennett, he falls to the ground.
Did they just boo the guy that knocked out Brad Marchand? Are you serious? Come on. Matthew Nyes. Okay, the Matthew
You have
Nyes.
a Florida jersey.
Yeah,
on.
you do have the Florida. it's
This guy's like, yeah, I suck.
Yeah, boo these guys on my back.
Boo. Man, Matthew Tkachuk, who, like, I don't want to go out of my way to give him credit. Chirp of the playoffs.
he's amazing.
Fantastic. Did you see what he said?
No, what did he say?
Chris Kreider grabbed his mouth guard and he tried to throw it into the stands. He wasn't able to do it, apparently. But apparently today at a press conference, Tkachuk said, I told Kreider that's the best play he's made all playoffs. Or all series, whatever it was.
Some guys just have that. They have that chirp gene. That's good.
You know what's going to be even better? When he says, I guarantee we will win Game 5. He's going to channel his inner Messier and ruin the Canucks. Somehow. That's how it's going to work.
That's not how it's going to work.
Instead of winning Game 5, he's going to ruin the Canucks.
So tonight, can we get a room poll? Who is the winner? I'm going to say the two teams. First off, Dallas. Okay, all right. All right, Edmonton. All right.
Edmonton.
Do you think Edmonton?
The commercials
I think there
work.
was more votes for Edmonton there.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Now, do you think Edmonton?
I'm on Edmonton, yeah.
Is it because we're expecting the series to go 7? Or is it... Yes. Okay.
Yes,
there was a
yes.
definitive
Also,
yes.
Stuart Skinner is surprisingly good at bouncing back. We got a round of applause for Stuart Skinner. I don't think he's generally been that amazing, but in games where Edmonton gets kind of caved in, he allows a bad one. If you look at it, when he comes back the next game, it's usually an Edmonton win. Like, he's very good at rebounding, so I expect a rebound performance from them, and this has got to be 6 or 7 in the series. Yep. And if Dallas goes up 3-1, I see they're going to close it out
Drew is
very quickly.
Drew's at the back going, it's going 5.
Drew's got money
thinks
on
it's
Dallas
over.
in 5.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think Edmonton takes it tonight. Are you guys on Edmonton or Dallas?
I'm a Dal pal. I think the Dallas Stars.
in what, though? Because you could
6.
What about tonight? What are you on?
I think Dallas wins.
And you think Edmonton wins one in the next...
Yeah.
You think they win in Dallas?
Yeah, because we're gonna look at it like, wow, they're dead, and then of course they're gonna win one.
Mm-hmm.
Although, wouldn't it be great if after his grumpy little press conference, this is the Darnell Nurse game?
I don't know if you guys saw Darnell Nurse's press conference today.
It was bad.
It was 60 seconds long, and he said, yep, that guy's a good player. Yep, that guy's a good player. Okay, guys, thanks. See you later. And he walked off.
And I don't
he
think
was
he meant.
grumpy.
He didn't mean thank you.
No.
No.
So if you're going into the corners with Darnell tonight, you're going to get crushed, which is great. Now, I'm of the opinion that whoever wins the second period is going to win this game. And this sounds stupid. However.
That is such a TV answer.
However. Thank you.
You're wasting your time here.
Yeah, I
with
know.
us. Oh my God.
I think this is ridiculous, but Edmonton's second period in Game 1 was the thing that turned Game 1 in their favor. Dallas's second period in Game 2 and Game 3, after Edmonton crushed them in the first period, was the thing that won them the game. It's whoever gets that momentum piece. And it was funny because, especially in Game 3, you look at Dallas is down 2-0. The Oilers fans are going ballistic. They're going crazy inside and outside. And Oilers fans do always show up. They got their weird hats, and I saw a guy who put gold all over his teeth, and it was crazy.
And the green men and dark guy.
And green men and dark guy. Yeah, that's right. As you would expect. So for them to come out and lay an egg the way they did, I just think they got to know that is really the hinge point of this series right now.
Steve, and now we should throw to Ron McLean for a reference from the 40s.
Anyway, Tragically Hip.
His TV
Tragically Hip, small town Canada.
It's a very panel point you made.
Well,
the second period.
All right, what do you guys? Do you guys think I'm wrong? Am I wrong? No.
Tell us about a boat.
No, I'm not going to tell
I need a story about a boat.
Stop it.
I love Ron, but he knows a lot about boats.
He does. Maybe that's his passion, Steve.
Maybe.
Like yours is the zoo, Ron's is the boat, and we
Yes.
all kind of say, we put up with it.
Okay, Ron's version of the zoo is busting out the enormous physical copy of the NHL rulebook. Pulls it out like Wile E. Coyote having a giant hammer and no pockets. Yeah. You're like, where did he even keep that? Ron's the best for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the refs to be wrong.
Is it the Darnell Nurse revenge game? Do you think no? Nobody believes in Nurse anymore.
That's very us.
I do.
That's very us, though. All right. Who's the player? Tell me a little bit about him. All right. 15 games played, 2 points, minus 12. All right. This is his game. The night belongs to him.
You forgot his contract is a little too big.
Yeah.
I didn't even say that.
That's a key thing about
Key.
Leafs players.
And listen, if I think Leaf fans would be more convinced it's the Darnell Nurse show tonight if they were playing the Leafs.
Oh.
If he's mad and
3 points.
everybody's like, yeah, so you guys know,
3
right?
points.
Oh, yeah.
No, but he's from Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not no, and you remember the Leafs are the streak breakers, right? Anytime something's going wrong, just roll through TO. It's all good. It's kind of funny how it happens. Now, I actually think.
Sorry.
I think he's been, and if you look at the advanced numbers, I know, nerd. He's been really good since they split him with former Leaf Cody Ceci. Now, wasn't great last game. Are we cheering Cody Ceci or are we cheering the split?
That's OT hero, game-winning goal, Cody Ceci.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, put some respect on Ceci.
Unbelievable. Like, what a weird career.
I know.
Just unreal.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is I have some faith in the Edmonton Oilers tonight. I do think Dallas ultimately wins, but also then we get to all laugh at producer Drew tonight if they don't win. And you guys are missing the end. See, remember, Drew has the money on them in 5. Mm-hmm. So if Edmonton wins tonight, he loses that bet now.
Dude, he'll be like, who's scoring first? And I'll be like, I don't know, this guy. And then that guy doesn't score first. And like, I'm doing my job. He's like, you lost me money. Dude, I'm working.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do when we do these things. I think it's kind of a unique experience, the fact that we actually get to see you while we're doing the show. And what we want to do is if you've had any burning questions for anybody up here, other than Mitch Marner trade proposals, now would be the time. So this is our official Boston Pizza Rutherford Road press conference, brought to you by Boston Pizza. So who's got a question? You can just put your hand up. I'll ask. So I'm going to start over here. Your name is? All right, Matt. Your name is Maverick.
That's a great name.
Okay, I have questions for you.
Are you cheering for Dallas? Yes. Yeah.
All right, Maverick, what's the question? And I will repeat it for the room.
If you had to choose a tandem partner for Joseph Woll next season, in reason, you can't just say Vasilevsky.
Yep. So tandem partner for Joe Woll next season.
Within reason.
Within reason.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at the goalies that are potentially available. I'm going to throw some names out there, boys, but if I miss any. So Saros might be available. He's got a year left.
I mean, that's top of the wish list, right?
Markstrom waived his no-trade clause to go to New Jersey, and Calgary couldn't get the deal done because the owner's difficult.
I just don't see the Flames doing that.
Okay.
And also, I wouldn't do the trade unless there was a clause where he has to wear a bungee cord so he can't play the puck.
Right. Linus Ullmark was almost traded to, we believe, the Los Angeles Kings at the trade deadline.
Unrealistic.
And unrealistic.
Yeah.
But he was almost traded, and they did try to trade him, and I think they're going to try to do it again. Unrealistic.
Unrealistic, yeah.
Dark magic.
Yeah.
He would have a 780 save percentage with the Leafs. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know that, right? And then immediately get traded to like Utah and be great.
Do you know any of the UFA goalies?
I don't. Do you want
I
me to
think
pull
that
them
would
up?
be a better route to go.
you want me
than-
to pull them up?
Yeah,
Hang on.
imaginary trade
Let me-
goalies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that you didn't immediately bring up your favorite Laurent Brossoit.
That's a good one.
Now, but
He's a
here's the thing
UFA.
with Laurent. Laurent's not played more than like 37 games in a year.
That's all you need. You got Joseph Woll.
You think Woll's going to play 50?
No, 37 is very close to
40
42.
something.
If it's
Okay.
42, like it's 5 off. Like,
Yeah, and he snaps his groin in the fifth
so
extra game.
You add 3 games to his 37. It's 40 something 40. Like,
Jesse,
that's fine.
We got to be really delicate with these decisions. Remember, the Leafs lost their season when Joseph Woll tried to make a save he didn't need to make.
Yeah. With no time left on the clock.
No time left, up 2.
Yeah.
And then he didn't even make it. It would have been sick if he made it. Well, at least
I
he made
wouldn't
it.
mind Brossoit at all. I don't know how much of Brossoit's good numbers are a result of Winnipeg just being a great defensive team, but I think he's played well, and that's a cheap option they could go with.
Anthony Stollers.
Okay, here we go. Matt Murray. Yeah. Matt Murray.
For the memes.
There are some rumors that what's his name? Not Matt Murray, the other guy. That was the
Dallas's Matt Murray?
No, the third
Oh,
goalie
Martin
for the Leafs.
Jones.
Martin Jones could be back because him and Woll apparently have a great relationship, but as the third goalie. Another one, Ilya Samsonov is a free agent. I don't know if you guys know that. Oh, we're booing him now. Okay.
Okay.
Chris Drieger.
Yeah, Chris Krieger is a guy.
He's a guy.
That's a human.
See, there was no reaction to that, which means good. That's how tiebreaker goes to good.
Okay.
Jeremy Swayman is going to be an RFA. You could always offer sheet him.
No,
Lol.
stick to the U's.
Lol.
Stick to the U's.
Capo Kakinen, who had a bad year in New Jersey.
Yeah, no.
That's not an NHL
All right,
goaltender.
Kevin Lankinen in Nashville. 908 save percentage. 11-6-1, 282.
You're regretting booing Samsonov, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
I
that you
hear
know
it.
what's available.
I hear you thinking. I hear it.
Casey DeSmith.
Nah.
Eric Comrie.
Oh, we got some Canucks fans.
Alex Nedeljkovic.
Nah.
James Reimer. I don't think so.
I think that ship sailed.
Antti Ranta.
No.
It's not 6
Well,
years
oh yeah,
ago.
we found someone who could fill in the other 12 games or whatever, because
Yeah.
that's all he's going to play.
Yeah.
Phoenix Copley had that one good year.
Eh.
You
You know where he's from? North Pole, Alaska. I'm contractually obligated
you
to
say
mention
that
every time.
Anthony
Love that
Stollers.
stat.
Stollers would be good.
Scott Wedgwood.
That's a better.
How
one than you
old is
think.
Scott Wedgwood now?
Older than you think.
Yeah.
26, 7.
Actually, Scott Wedgwood is 31.
What?
Yeah.
He's up there.
Cam Talbot is 36, and he's available. Played 56 games this year. 913 save percentage.
Brad did have him in Calgary.
That's not a bad answer.
But
No.
is that what you want?
Cam
Here's
Talbot.
A good
thing.
goalie?
What they want, and that. I mean, most of the rest of them are RFAs, so I don't even mention them. It's like Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Dustin Wolf. I think
UPL.
I want to say that I feel like we need somebody who is like the established guy, who, you know, when Freddie Anderson came here, who was the last real true starter, right? It's like we got him because he's the starter, because he was a starter before.
Not
I think you need-
accidental starter Jack Campbell.
Yes,
I got it.
You
Okay.
need a real. I think you need a real starter. This is Austin Matthews and William Nylander's prime. You need it now. You need a guy. So if it's UC Saros, he only makes $5 million, but then you have to extend him for like $100 million. Are you prepared to do that? And so that if I'm looking at that, that is the most important thing that I think the Toronto Maple Leafs need to look at. Forget revamping the defense. Forget whatever you're going to do up front with Mitch Marner and the core four and all that stuff.
I will not.
You
I
need a
won't.
goalie and a goalie first.
The way you feel about the goaltender position is how I feel about the number one D slot.
Really?
I think the thing that would get this team the most over the hump is somebody who is ahead of Morgan Riley in their D-core.
Okay.
I feel like we've seen enough. Oh, hey! Getting some cheers!
Wow, I guess none of you did watch Edmonton's games, did you?
I feel like
Hey, whoa.
goaltending we've seen, you can get magic beans in a bottle. You can catch lightning in a bottle is a phrase I should use.
I like magic beans in a
Magic
bottle better,
beans
though.
in a bottle. Shake them. They might be good.
We have a podcast title. Backpack full of weights.
Bactions.
Actions,
Yeah.
that's right.
I feel like goaltending you can piecemeal together, and so often we've seen the young goaltender. Tristan Jarry was that guy in Pittsburgh. You know, Aiden Hill out of nowhere in Antti Niemi. Joseph Woll
Murray?
might be that.
Murray.
Matt Murray
Once
one
upon a
time.
time.
Once
Yeah.
upon a time. Joseph Woll might be that guy. You just need something else there. Go out and get your number one defenseman that the Leafs have never had in this era.
All right. Next question, everybody. I'm gonna go. I'm Nick. I will come to you, but John Tavares, captain here, over, I believe, right there. Your name is John Tavares. It's not. What's your name? Thomas.
Thomas.
All right, Thomas. What's the question?
So, every year when it's a makes a run, there's always one player that didn't do anything in the regular season that just comes out of nowhere.
Yep.
The two most recent memories, Carey Price in 2021 to have just came out of nowhere to backstop.
I mean, he was Carey Price, but okay.
Later in his
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Bobrovsky winning the starting position back at New Orleans last year. This isn't a goalie specific question, but this year, who do you think that breakout player has been for a team that has helped them significantly?
Who's been the most key to a key team?
So
basically,
here's what John Tavares said. So there's been some good goalies. there were some good goalies who weren't very good for a while, but then they got good again, and then they were good goalies again. So which goalie should? I think he's just tiptoeing around. Should the Leafs get John Gibson?
no, he's not asking that at all.
Who
He's
was
at-
the player
Who's
this
the
season, right?
Bobrovsky of this postseason?
Yeah. in general, who's the player this season who had like that out of nowhere breakout season?
Tyler Seguin.
You think so?
yeah.
I feel like
People forgot
that
about
dude
Tyler.
makes $9 million. Like, it's not like he's been bad, but he signed that contract. He's battled injury after injury after injury, and he hasn't been second overall pick, like game-breaking, leaf-breaking Tyler Seguin. And then to see him have like a 2-goal game in the playoffs, I'm like, oh, okay, that guy's back.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know what kind of points he had in the regular season. I mean, I'm kind of
Does it
low.
matter?
I'm low on regular season points right now.
Yeah. No, playoffs is what matters, and he showed up.
He's been great.
Yeah.
He's been
Jesse, would you have any?
So there's
No,
my
I love
answer.
that answer because you see him play with Wyatt Johnston and Jason Robertson and Logan Stankoven. You expect the kids to take over for Ben and Seguin, but the guy who stepped up was Seguin. So I think that's a good answer.
Nick, what's your question?
So Steve had his great rant about the real NHL and the coaches being, as I quote, losers. My question is, would those same coaches turn down a Olympic role if they were given it?
With the same coaches.
So the coaches who said, "Oh, congrats! Now you get to coach in the real NHL." Nick said, "Would those same coaches turn down the opportunity to coach the Canadian or American or whatever Olympic team?"
And I think the answer is no.
And he asked me that over there, and I thought that was such a good question. You know, I think there's a lot of guys who like the spotlight temporarily.
It's only 2 weeks.
It's a few weeks, and if you lose,
You're not even in your own country.
you got 4 years for the people to forget about it.
Yep.
You know, and if you lose, they're not going to ask you to do it again anyway. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's the Olympics are almost lower stakes than being a head coach in like a top 5 size market in the NHL. But no, I thought that point was great, and I think like I would love to ask CJ about that. Like, what is it about the temporary spotlight? You're in the spotlight for like 2 months max, like leading up to the Olympics themselves, and then after. Boy, you coach in New York or like Montreal, it doesn't even have to be about the Leafs. You are an everyday topic every day for as long as you're there. And like even off-season conversations come back to you. I think it's a fascinating point.
Good point. Good point. Next question. Yes.
Emily?
Hi,
Emily.
Emily.
Hi. Oh, thanks. What lessons did John Tavares learn
Oh,
coming in fourth at the World Championships?
Oh, my God.
What was the back half of that question?
What lessons did JT learn at the World Championships? Fantastic question.
Well, I learned Austria's pretty good at hockey, and Norway is also, they have a good hockey program. The Swiss also have a good hockey program. And I think we could take lots of lessons because they really took us to school.
Thank you, John.
All right, we got time for a couple more. I'm going to go at the back, sir, with the armband on there. Yes, sir. What is your name first?
He looked at his wrist to be like, me?
Yeah.
Isn't everybody wearing a wristband?
Okay, him with the wristband.
Stupid!
I didn't know you had
They're all wearing
I
wristbands.
didn't
Canada
know.
jacket.
Sorry, your name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Steve. Hey, Steve. Oh, there's wait. Third Steve. Third Steve. Third Steve. Threve. Sorry.
Go on.
Name the last American-born player to retire for a Canadian team.
Last American-born player to retire for a Canadian team.
Last
That's trivia.
American-born player to retire for a Canadian team. Where did Keith Tkachuk retire?
St. Louis, wasn't it?
Ah, damn.
Yeah,
Ryan Kessler?
maybe
No, he
Kessler.
went to the Ducks.
Oh.
Damn.
That's a good
really
point.
good question. There's one you can think of, so
Wait,
it's
so
not
you don't know the
necessarily the answer? Who's the guy? Who?
Lupul's Canadian.
Joffrey Lupul? He's from Fort. Yeah, he's Canadian.
From Alberta, isn't he?
We're gonna have to look that up.
No,
We'll
but
find
you
out.
know what? He looks American. You're right. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he retired for.
No, that's the different question, but that's okay. That's
Yeah.
all right. You know what? I want to look that up. We'll look that up later.
We will.
Yeah. One more at the
Cousin Vinny.
All right, Cousin Vinny.
That's why he introduced himself as Cousin Vinny.
Oh, we've talked about Shanahan a lot.
Holy. Oh, thank
What do
God.
you want to know, Vinny?
Why aren't the Leafs drafting players the way Shanahan played with
Oh, you nailed it.
Yeah.
So repeat the question.
So the question is from Cousin Vinny, why aren't the Leafs, if Shanahan played the way he did, which was he was a maniac, and scored a bunch of goals, why aren't the Leafs drafting players like him?
Why are you getting 5'10"?
Well,
Hey,
Hey,
what's
nothing
wrong with
wrong.
5'10"? Oh, what's wrong with...
yeah, we need 6'4s, not 5'10s.
he's 6'4".
Get out of here.
I don't like this very much.
It's a very good question.
I think it's less about height, by the way, and more about mindset. Theo Fleury, listen, I know his political opinions are one thing, but Theo Fleury was a maniac, and he was short. I think it's about what's up here.
Dude, Logan Stankoven.
Oh, yeah.
That dude's like 5'7", but he's closer to the puck that way.
Yeah.
And that's how he looks at it. He's on it. He's on it.
But Shanahan has never gone out and really got Shanahan-type players.
No, and I think
he's focused on skill for his entire tenure.
I think what happened was when they hired Dubas and they brought in Lamoriello, they wanted whatever Dubas had with the Sioux Greyhounds. They thought, we found a market inefficiency. Let's go small. Let's go fast. Let's go find talent in the draft that other teams are overlooking because they're not 6'4". And they really didn't put a lot of emphasis on toughness, and then got to the playoffs and went, man, we're not tough. You know what? Next year, we'll just do this again and not be tough again next year. And the same thing happened. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should add Kyle Clifford. That should help.
Yeah.
And then, maybe we should add Michael Bunting. He'll be the only one.
It's artificial.
Yeah.
It's just...
So I think they thought they had a theory, and that theory hasn't come to pass. That's my best bet.
You got to stir the sauce. You got to have all the ingredients complementing each other. And I feel like Kyle Clifford was just like a bay leaf. They just and we're tough now. No, the whole sauce doesn't taste like the leaf that you just placed on top of the sauce. Sorry, we're in Vaughan. I had to put it in these terms.
No, I think now people understand what you're saying.
Hey, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
We didn't get a cheer for Vaughan.
Vaughan!
Yeah.
Yes! By the way, we got to wrap it up soon here because I have to get on the stream. So don't boo me, please. But one more question. Okay, Steve, you pick so you can make everybody upset.
Oh no, you. Yes, you.
Hold on, your name? Matthew.
Austin.
Okay, Matthew's got a hot take for us.
Came here with a hot take. You believe big star players don't want to win the cup?
Yeah, see, exactly. So, you know you're in a salary cap era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know your teams are strapped. You have players like Matthews and Nylander signing $90 million. How much money do you need to be happy with life? Why do you need $90 million so that you're strapped for $3 million at the end of the offseason?
So you think that because star players,
Star players would rather a bigger paycheck than a competitive team.
and I would agree with them, and I'll tell you why. The best theory I've heard on this is Nick Kyprios, who knows his stuff about these things, and people give Nick Kyprios a lot of crap. But I'll tell you, he's one of the smartest guests we've ever had. And Nick said, star players will say behind the scenes, okay, I'll give on a contract. I'll pull back. I'll give $1 million, $2 million. Remember, $1 million is $80,000 a month. So how would you feel about being asked to give up $160,000 a month for 8 years? It's a lot. Now you're making a lot, but it's also, oh man, it's $160,000 a month. That's a lot of money. Kipper's problem, according to the players, is that they don't trust how the general managers are going to spend it. That's what he said. He said that the star players have said to him, okay, I'll give you that, and then they go and they spend it on something that just absolutely doesn't work.
But it's also not the player's problem.
Right.
The player is in an individual negotiation. It's not the player's job to figure out the rest of the team. It's the agent who's sitting there with the general manager, and the player says, I'm worth X. and you must pay me X. The rest of the cap, the rest of the team is your business.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. So I feel like it's two different conversations.
Yes, agreed. And let me just say this. Every time we have this conversation, the extremely rich owners are like, yes.
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 The billionaires
less money.
crush the millionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I always feel like a little boy whenever we have these conversations. Like today, I earnestly asked Adam, we were talking about Reinhardt. I was like, what's really the difference between $9 million a year and 12? And the answer, by the way, is $3 million a year for times 8, apparently, which is money.
Which is a lot
24?
of money. Yeah.
It's so
and
much.
and money that you'll never get back. You'll never get to make it again. You got one shot. Oh, absolutely. People can. You can find
they
ways
can
to
spend it.
Oh, you can spend that money.
Yeah, I don't
In a
think
heartbeat.
any billionaire has ever been like, but what do I do with all of this? No,
I
they go to
wish I had
space. Like
less.
they find other stuff that they want to do. I'm gonna buy a literal phallic spaceship, blast up into space for 45 seconds, and then come down and laugh like an evil villain.
He's
I
talking
think
about
that-
Bezos, by the way.
I think
He's not
the-
actually.
No, that could have been anyone.
I think the correct answer is both. They care about getting their maximum dollar, but they also care about winning the Stanley Cup. And those two things do not affect each other when they're having each individual negotiation. When they're out there trying to win the cup, they're not thinking about the money that they're making. And when they're making the money, they're not thinking about, hey, what's going to be easier to get the cup.
you-
Johnny Gaudreau signed his long-term contract in Columbus, saying, "I wanted to go there. You know, it's a competitive team." He really thought he was going to.
I think they sold him on their program. I do, and I think he regrets it. His dad has tweeted about it.
They had a big.
You should repeat what you were talking about for everybody listening.
Oh, sorry. He said with Johnny Gaudreau, when he signed in Columbus, first off, Johnny Gaudreau could have got more money than that and was offered more money than what Columbus offered him. So the Flames offered Johnny Gaudreau more money than he signed for in Columbus. He supposedly wanted to be closer to the East Coast. It was supposed to be the Flyers who, weirdly, the day before, had to get Tony DeAngelo. They had to get Tony DeAngelo, and then they couldn't afford him. Give me Tony DeAngelo or give me death, said Chuck Fletcher. And so I think that, and Johnny Gaudreau's dad has tweeted he would welcome a trade back to Calgary. So it does matter, and I don't think that you can make it to a professional level in anything that's slightly competitive, and these guys are extremely competitive without the desire to win or want to win. I don't think you can.
Sidebar. Career advice for anyone who wants to play in the NHL. You got a dad? Great. Take their phone, and next time you go to the cottage, throw it in the fire. Throw it in the fire. There's too many examples. Get off of Twitter, Dad.
All right, so here's the deal. We're going to wrap it up here, but I just want to do another shout out to the staff here at Boston Pizza Rutherford. Woo! And I want to do a shout out to you because without you, we don't get to do this, and we're so appreciative that you're here. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Woo! And stick around. We're going to be here all night, so we're going to do streams. If you didn't get your question in, you can just come up and ask, okay? Thanks so much, guys.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.